When you look at this one, you win this, you're in the national championship game. Keys for Ohio State against Texas.
Do the same thing you did the first two games. That doesn't mean run the same plays, but it does mean establish your best players as quickly as possible. Nobody has an answer for Jeremiah Smith yet. Don't bail Texas out. Make them find an answer for Jeremiah Smith. Make them find an answer for Carnell Tate. Make them find an answer for Emeka Buka. Because then once they start scrambling for that answer, that's when you can hit them with Quinshawn Judkins. That's when you can hit them with Travion Henderson. Even G. Scott, the tight end, who has a wide receiver background, has been pretty stout for you as well. We haven't seen Will Howard be a running threat yet. Maybe this is the game against a zone team who likes to drop eight a lot. This is the game you see that. But continue to be aggressive, continue to dictate the tempo, continue to dictate how this game goes. And that goes on offense and it goes on defense. Do not let Texas dictate offensively or defensively how this game is going to be played. Ohio State needs to be doing that and taking the fight to Texas, especially with a game that's in Dallas, Texas, which is essentially Longhorn land.
All right, what concerns you most about Texas? In other words, what's their path to figuring a way to beat Ohio State?
One team is still trying to find that spark while the other team's trying to hold on to it. And that's the playoffs are going to be a difficult task of watching a team and which team can hold on to that for four straight games. And Ohio State's done it two out of the four now. Can they make it three out of the four? As I mentioned earlier, we haven't seen Will Howard make mistakes yet in this playoff. Is he due for a bad mistake? But what happens after that mistake? How does he respond to that mistake? But then from an X's and O's standpoint, the offensive line has looked stout the first 2 weeks. You have to give credit where credit is due. Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, and offensive line coach Justin Fry have found a formula that works for a group that has been hindered by injuries. But it's still a question mark of whether or not at one point it's going to catch up to them in a game against an elite defensive line. I think Oregon's the best defensive line they're going to play the entire college football playoff, but Texas has got some guys too. Their interior guys are pretty good. They've got the freshman of the year in Colin Simmons, and I know I say that facetiously. The real freshman of the year is Jeremiah Smith, but Colin Simmons actually won the award for it. They got a stout secondary, and this is the best passing defense in college football. This is not the game to have a letdown. And so you have to be on alert for a letdown, but then also, what if this is the game where the offensive line finally gives out? I don't believe either of those things will happen, but you have to continue to keep an eye on them because those are the two things at this point that could keep Ohio State from winning a national title.